Yes, indeed. Something completely different today here on the Kev Baker Show. It's time to chill out. It's time to breathe. And I've got some good woo for you. I'll be with you in just a moment. Don't go anywhere. There we go, there we go. I won't keep you waiting any longer. Come on. I'm not that bad, and I'm sorry I've not been here the past couple of days, but back now. And today, a very special day over on the Kev Baker Show, just an hour from now. It's our birthday. Well, anniversary. Well, something. It's 1,400 episodes today. Yes, indeed. And don't panic, don't panic. It's not just Kev Dave Baker. No, 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 no. I've got Jimmy Jeans dropping into the show. I will possibly have Scotty Lopez dropping in as well. There's a vicious rumour that we may even open the phone lines. Yes, indeed. But in today's stream, it's time to just breathe. And if you would like to decompress and get away from the madness, this is the place to be for the next, well, 50 minutes or so. Probably around 45 now. Sorry for the late start today. Anne's working late shifts, so I had to get the mints and tatties timed just right. Can't get the mints and tatties wrong. I need to fix the chat room. Give me a second here. We'll try it here. Let's see. Hopefully that'll fix it. There we go. There we go. It just wasn't feeling right, right? Yes, indeed. Now, before we get going, I'm going to come into the chat room. I'll give you a little shout out, whoever is in there. Don't forget that we have got memberships here on the channel. It's entirely optional, no obligation at all, but it certainly helps yours truly. Keep doing what we do here. So if you're interested in that, click that big shiny join button down below. You see it? Let it tempt you in. Click it. If for no other reason, you can see my goofy intro video. That might be worth a look, a laugh, if nothing else, okay? So we've got an alert. We had a new member pop up on the channel when we were offline. So I'm going to replay that right now. Let me see. I need to find it on my alert list. Here we go. Hopefully I'll do it now. Maybe. But yay! Fingers. I was going to say fingers crossed. Probably some kind of hand signal or something. But there we are. Yep. The Hodgie. So that's actually a guest we've had on the show. Him and his wife Jen, Steve and Jen Hodgson. You know them. They go out and do paranormal investigations. And Steve has actually written a couple of books. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but great to have him joining the madness. So who have we got in the chat room today? We have got Billy Joe. Jimmy Jeans is in there. He's kicking back. He's getting ready to woo and talk to all of you very, very soon. Indeed, I might even drag him in a little bit. I'm sure he'll have something to say about one of the stories I've dug up here for us to chill out. Lessons for life. Julian please check out that channel. Really, really good channel. Some really good, diverse kind of topics and guests he gets on there as well. 1,400 shows. I can't actually remember the first time I listened to the Kev Baker show. It just feels like I always did. And that kind of quantum, isn't it? Isn't it kind of quantum? I like that. I do like that. Now, bear with me 2 moments here. I've actually forgotten to share this out. Not very good at this YouTubing thing, am I? After all these years, you would think I would get better, but nah, not so much. So if I just do this, music, that'll kill a bit of the awkward silence, right? Hang on, hang on. Easy, governor, easy. Oh, wrong thing. I don't want to be pasting my stream code key. Top tip for any streamers out there, don't be making your stream code key public. That could go horribly, horribly wrong. So where was I? Here we are. Share. Copy. Got it. There we go. Fired away. Fired away. So in the chat room, we've got Jules. We've got Jason Lane. Jimmy. Away get coffee. He's in there. He's active. You see? Telling you, we're all going on here. We've got War. War, yes, I will check out the guest that you recommended. I never promise anything with guests, but I will certainly do my best to make that a reality for you, War. Somebody else asked me to get on another gentleman who does Ancient Aliens. Praveen, I can't remember his second name, but I'm going to try and get them on. They talk about all the ancient temples and things in the world, especially over in the kind of the Hindu temples, things like that. Sidvich, man, in with a unicorn. Dude, loving it.
Come on, man.
Probably too soon for that particular soundbite. Think about it, Kev. Think about it. Anyway, moving back into the chat. No, we ain't getting into that here. We've got... who else we got? Luna. There we go. Luna. Jason. I had done Jason. John Nelson. Sidvich is kicking about with his unicorns. We've got Connie. Good to see you. War. Adrian. Billy Joe. I'll give you another shout out, Billy. She's been a long time tolerator of my madness, as Billy Joe. Yes, indeed. Thank you for putting up with me. Not many do. Not many do. In fact, thank you all for putting up with me. Maybe you just come here to see what ridiculousness I'll spin you today. Hey, whatever brought you here, you're here for a reason, right? Don't panic. I'm just clearing my throat. We have got Adrian coming in as a new member, I believe. That will play in just a moment. Jojo, good to see you. Hiding behind the unicorn. I like that. Costa Monster. Hey, you. Good to see you. I like that name. Pretty cool. War again. Polynation. Check out Polynation's YouTube channel. One Polynation. Bring up quickly here. I go about this all wrong. You know, people who watch this after the fact never even stay to kind of see what's going on, right? Because they're like, this just takes too long to get into it. Right, is it just Polynation then? No, it must be one. Must be a one in front of it. There we go. There we go there. And I will drop this link in the channel. He's actually interviewing a lot of the people that are over on Discord. If you want to get into the Discord, I'll get you covered. I got you covered. Copy. There you go. There's so many different ways that you can get in touch with me, but more importantly, you can connect with the audience. That's what the extra layer of KBS is all about, the Discord. It's something kind of different. It's something where you can chill out. You're not going to get into any major debates. Well, you might if you go into a call or you go into one of the other rooms, but all good in there, folks. So we've got Adrian, another new member. Hang on. Whoa. So, right, we've got 2 new members here. We've got Armand. Huge welcome to you. And we've also got Adrian, but I think that's actually Armand and his dog. I think Armand is that cool. His dog even subscribed to the channel. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. Oh, yes, and bear with me 2 seconds. Of course, man. There we go. So Scotty Lopez is going to be parachuting in with, so it's like 3 amigos so far tonight. The 3 amigos. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's exciting, right? It's my birthday, anniversary, something. I don't know. John Krakow in there. How you doing, brother? Jose, Ramon, Francis. Great to see you. I think you might have been first. Jules was second. Jimmy Jeans in for a cheeky third. Jimmy, tell you what, man. That's you like a guest, a friend, and like climbing the charts. Getting here first. But listen, we're going to do something completely different today. I think people need to take their mind off, you know, something else that's going on out there. I can't even imagine what it might be, right? But after you've subscribed to Polly Nation, we're going to get into this right here. Now, I found this today over on the Unexplained Mysteries website. It's on their forum. And it really ties in with a lot of the kind of stuff that we like to get into here. We're going back in time. Okay? We're going back to ancient Egypt. We're going to open our minds and we're just going to go to the back of Speculation Island because that's what we do here. We're not saying anything's factual. We're just thinking aloud. And we're going to go further back in time. Possibly to a lost/missing civilization. So this is what I found today. And it's pretty cool. Because this is, like I say, Unexplained Mysteries forum. Make of it what you will. This person makes a good point. Lots of good stuff for us to get into here. To ponder, to think about. Take our mind off things. Take us back in time. Try and reconnect us to the past. Try and remember everything that's in here somewhere. We've just forgotten it. Nothing new under the sun, remember? And we're going under the sun. Because we're going over to Egypt. One of my favourite places. And when I wrongly brought myself up on the screen during the introduction, I know none of you noticed. You thought it was like planned and stuff. I had this screenshot up. Now, I'm not going to spoil any of this documentary like I usually do. I know, I'm bad for it. But I recommend if you're into archaeology and if you're into ancient Egypt, and most of us are, this here is definitely well worth a watch. It's only 2 hours long. We've actually talked about some of the discoveries right here on the show when they were reported in the media. Numerous tombs excavated over the past couple of years. And this here, it takes you right into the heart of the excavation project. And it is amazing. Absolutely amazing. And maybe that's why this here resonated with me so much today. Because when you watch something about Egypt, maybe it's just me, my mind starts to drift off. I start to kind of yearn back to something I can't quite put my finger on. I'm not saying there's anything totally familiar about Egypt, but it's always had that pull on me. And I find so many other people feel that way. It's what makes it one of the wonders of the world, right? But why is it we all almost feel some kind of pull towards some of these ancient monuments? That's weird, right? Or is it? Is that part of some of the information we've forgotten and lost entirely? Like potentially a civilization. Get a load of this. Just don't judge it. Let it play out and then think about it and we'll get some good woo. So it says here, I need to share the link with Scott. I'll keep you waiting. That's the kind of thing I'm meant to do to retain audiences. Note to self, must be more professional at this, right? 68 people in here. Dang, dude, pressure on. There we go. So Scotty's got the link. We'll probably have Mr. Scotty Allen Lopez joining the chat room real soon. But yeah, lost civilization, and we're going to Egypt. So it says, take a look at this. Luxor in the 19th century. Now, you can see there how Luxor is still partially covered by a lot of sand, okay? Now, you compare that to what it looks like today. And then you've got this here down at Karnak. And this is when it was like early 1900s this time here. And then you've got this here. You know, all these wonderful stones, all the carvings on them, stuff like that. Look at that one. And we've got Com Ombo. We can come back to these. Don't worry about that. I know I'm going kind of quickly just now. Look at the size of these blocks, right? There's an Egyptian. I'm going to risk it and say 2 dudes. Could be wrong. I'm woke like that. Look at the size though. That's like humongous. Okay, we've talked about this kind of thing before. These monuments. And then you look at this here. Now, see how there's a vast difference in like the height? Like how much of that is under sand at this point? Just keep that in your mind, okay? It says just a few examples for reference as to the state in which much of Egypt was found in modern times. So this is when we're thinking about when they were excavating back in the day, early 1900s, that kind of time. Breaking news, it's not important. Just a few examples for reference as to the state in which Egypt was found in modern times, right? Ruined and buried sometimes as much as 15 to 20 feet. So you're talking about these massive places that we look at today, only when they were found, most of them buried, right? Underground, well, under sand, because of the test of time, or the tides of time. So it says the Temple of Com Ombo was built in the, oh, I hate all these big words, Ptolemaic period between 180 and 47 BC. A little more than 2,000 years ago. Yet, look at the state in which it was found in the 19th century. Ruined and buried more than halfway up its columns. And you got Luxor and Karnak. And with construction lasting from the MK through the late period, around 2,000 years later, buried more than halfway up to their columns, leaving the vast majority of these complexes completely obscured. Now, by the Roman period, and perhaps long before, so much sand and debris had accumulated at Giza, they apparently were unaware of the Sphinx temple, and it was even there. Now, all over Egypt, we see the state in which these monuments were found in modern times, okay? When we came across them, as we now know them today. In various states of ruin, been partially or even completely buried under sand and debris. And this is often just after 2,000 years. Now, there are some, however, who believe these monuments were built by a lost civilization thousands of years before the beginning of the dynastic Egypt, which we can only imagine the state that the ancient Egyptians would have found them, leaving it a wonder after so much time had passed that they could have found much of them at all. So what the author of this post is suggesting is that in the way that we discovered these temples, these ruins, reclaimed by the sands of time, let's not rule out the fact that when we look back to the time period of the dynasties and things like that, let's just open our mind on Speculation Island. I provide, or in this case, this post on the forum provides, and you decide. Because just what if those people, just like us back in the early 1900s, stumbled upon these ancient ruins? Just what if we weren't the first to discover these ruins, and perhaps maybe they date back a whole lot older than what academic science kind of tells us? I'm just saying, let's keep our minds open. So it says, look again at this photograph. So like you can see, you've got the top bit of this temple showing. You've got this kind of the roof structure on the pillars. You've got this bit at the top, that bit there, and then just there. That's all you're getting, right? And then you come down to this here. Vastly different to this very small chunk of what we're seeing, right? Maybe 30%, 40 at the most. So still 60% under the sand. What if it was like that? What if the ancient Egyptians that we give credit to building these things, what if they themselves actually excavated them? And what if they do date back to some lost civilization, perhaps one of many? And you look at the Sphinx, and there's a lot of contention about when the Sphinx itself was built, right? I mean, we've seen the research, the books, the talks given by Graham Hancock, Robert Bauval, Robert Schott, who often appears on many a documentary, Ancient Aliens, Discovery Channel, you name it. But he's on there and he uses his expertise in what I believe is geology. And when he looks at the Sphinx, he's got a problem because he sees a lot of water damage. And I say it's a problem because that kind of moves the kind of time period that may or may not have been constructed, or at least around. How long has it been there? That's what's so mysterious and brilliant about Egypt, isn't it? So it says the ancient Egyptians would have found Luxor, for example, after thousands of years, even more buried than this, which, given the different climates of the ages waxing and waning from desert to savanna, some of the layers would have been hard-packed dirt, not just sand. With perhaps the tip of the obelisk poking out of the ground, all of this would have been completely buried. So you've got the obelisk here, right? Blow up a little bit so we can see it a little bit better. Did I go too far? Yeah, so there's the obelisk there, okay? Imagine it was just the tip of that showing at one point. That would mean it could possibly have lay there for a lot longer than maybe 2,000 years like we claim they have this time round. What if they were from a different time? You know, you have to wonder, even if they say they were, okay, say we add on, even just for argument's sake, 2,000 odd years before we're told. So you had a civilization come along and collapse and disappear for 2,000 years, but how far or how long back does that civilization go? Because they didn't just one day appear and build these monuments. They must have progressed. They must have learnt different trades, different skills before they built these miraculous monuments, came up with language systems and hieroglyphs, or maybe they did just appear one day. That's where you can really get into some ancient alien hypothesis. I say hypothesis because how do we ever really test it? You know, short of us going even further down beneath the sand and maybe turning up a UFO or something, I am on the back of Speculation Island. I'm lying on a hammock. It might not look like it, but I've got a cocktail on the go. I've got a bad boy PPP and, oh, the mind's running away with myself, but just what if? Just what if? So it says, so, if in fact this was built by a lost civilization thousands of years before dynastic Egypt, the ancient Egyptians would have found it all but completely buried, with barely the tops of the obelisks sticking out of the ground, assuming that they were even still standing. If we accept such things were built by the lost civilization long ago, this means the ancient Egyptians would have to have excavated this entire site for square miles all the way around to get to its original floor level, which would have included all roads to the site. Yet after thousands of years, what state did they find these structures? Something similar to Com Ombo, or worse? And there's that Com Ombo again. So it says after completing the massive excavation project, we're speculating again. The ancient Egyptians would have started the daunting task of repairing and rebuilding the site, restacking the columns, resetting lintlets or lintels some 50 feet in the air, lifting back up an obelisk or two. Yet much of these blocks were damaged, requiring the ancient Egyptians to quarry new blocks to spec and install them in the place of their damaged ancient counterparts. So it doesn't go on too much longer, folks, don't panic. From one end of the Nile to the other for 3,000 years, ancient Egypt, now that's our ancient Egypt, not the lost civilization, set upon the unimaginable task of excavating site after site, repairing and rebuilding one ancient structure after another. So billions of cubic yards of earth and sand they moved to clear site after site to floor level. Millions of tons of stone they moved to rebuild complex after complex, restoring toppled walls, erecting columns, setting fallen lintels. How many tons of repair blocks were they required to quarry, dress, move and install, all to appear no different than the original blocks that at the time were told they are already thousands, if not tens of thousands of years old? The ancient Egypt, or the ancient Egyptians, do not speak at length about pyramid building, fair enough. But where are all the tales of their excavating countless sites up and down the Nile for 3,000 years, restoring the great civilization of the lost ones? Where did all the untold billions of cubic yards of dirt, sand and debris go that is otherwise indistinguishable from the natural surroundings? To look at Giza after thousands of untold years, the Sphinx, the temples, the mastaba fields, etc., etc., would have completely disappeared under countless feet of dirt and sand. Yet the 4th to 6th dynasty, ancient Egyptians somehow cleared it, all to floor level. Well, we do give them credit for building such mega monuments, so is it beyond them to excavate sites? I don't know, like I say, this is just one of these little trips down imaginary lane. Just open your mind. I don't know what was going on in ancient Egypt. I'm very open to there being missing chapters to the story. Not too far from Egypt, you've got Göbekli Tepe, which goes back, what, 11,000 years? I don't know what to make of that site. I'll tell you what it does do. And I think the archaeologists pretty much agree on the age of it. Throws a major spanner into the works of, like, the timeline of civilizations and what they could do at what point and where they were and stuff like that. Wouldn't you agree? Wouldn't you agree? Something to think about. So if all of these things were built by the lost civilization thousands of years before the dynastic Egyptians, how do we explain this? How were the ancient Egyptians able to excavate site after site, moving untold billions of tons of earth and sand and repairing each site, all but good as new? Well, for me, not that I'm trying to sway anyone's opinion either way, I think that's not very fair to say that, because these are the same people that give them credit for building all of these amazing monuments, these huge stones that would struggle to cut and move today. The mathematical precision of the Great Pyramid. That thing, it's like a Rubik's Cube wrapped up in some kind of riddle, covered in an enigma. It's got that many codes and things going on that we know about. And then the stuff that we don't know about that makes that, if you could build something like that, could you excavate a site? I pretty much think that same level of technology or that same level of thinking you're giving them credit for building things like that surely would translate the other way to them being able to excavate things like that as well. No? It's interesting to think about, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to spring it on them. I don't know if Jimmy's back from his coffee. I know Scotty Lopez is kicking around. I'm going to try and add the two of them right now before we head on over to the main show. And I'll get their thoughts on lost civilizations. Some woo before we head on over. And oh, it's going to get tasty on KBS today. You can guarantee it, folks. Scott and Jimmy will have a lot to say. But right now, we're going to get their take on the ancient Egyptians. So bear with me. I'm going to shove on these tunes even louder, and I will be right back with the guys in tow, hopefully. Fingers crossed, hopefully, maybe. Here we go. And of course the music runs out. There we go. There we go. Look at that frog. How chill is that frog? Dang, dude. Ain't nobody feeling like that today, right?
Come on, man.
Okay, maybe. Maniac. Hey, looking good there, Scotty Lopez. How you doing, man? Yes, ancient Egypt, Scott. You've got 25 minutes until we unload on that other little story. That's fine. Yeah, I think there's another story happening today. I think so. Not too sure.
Okay.
But I'm talking.
Yeah.
Yeah, did you catch any of the stream I done there? There he is as well. There he is. Jimmy Jeans in the house. It's the three amigos today. Now let me bring these rather good-looking gentlemen onto the graphics here. Jimmy, how are you doing today? We're getting into some Egyptian woo, man. I'm thinking of you and your emerald tablets of the tooth. And he's that excited. He's all muted up. Look at him. Hey.
Hey, it's good that I was muted up though, because I was listening to music when you called, and it would have jammed you.
How you doing, man? How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing fantastic, and there's Scotty, man, looking good. Scott, man, how you feeling, bruh?
Doing good, man.
Fantastic, brother. You look great too, man. You're fantastic. It's so good to see you and be here, man. Are you gonna come on the show?
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna be there.
The three amigos. Now, listen. Look, I know these guys are looking absolutely cracking and dapper. Don't judge me next to these two, please. Come on. But boys, what I was talking about before you came onto the Skypers there, and we're getting ready to kind of shoot over onto the show, and there's a lot of people probably expecting to hear your comments on something else right now, so this is where I shamelessly say, well, if you want to hear the guys talking about that, you'll need to come over to the Kev Baker show, right? That's where we take care of business over there. But today, I was looking at this little article, and it was throwing out the idea, right? It was talking about potentially the ancient Egyptians, the possibility that they may, and at times this little forum post, it was saying, well, where's the evidence for? What if we weren't the first people to excavate the monuments and the tombs and things back in the early 1900s? What if at the time period of the dynasties when they were around, what if they too stumbled across these monuments in the desert and they themselves excavated them and restored them to their past glory? And like I told the audience, I'm not trying to prove anything here. It's just something for us to ponder over, to open our minds to. Not to the point where we go to black goo, but sometimes it happens. But just that possibility, guys, of some ancient civilization that we might not be taking into account.
Well, I've always been of the belief that the Egyptians came across that pyramid. They weren't the ones that built that thing, right? So I think that it's very possible that they stumbled across these monuments and all of this old, remnants of whatever civilization actually built them. And yeah, I don't see why it wouldn't be possible for them to go and excavate it and restore it. Obviously they tried to emulate it, right? They attempted to build more pyramids afterwards, and they weren't as good as
one of them
the
looked
original.
like that. Yeah, one of them looked like that. That was a great effort, wasn't it, Jimmy? The one at Saqqara. I mean, yeah, guys, that looks great. Those models of the pyramid are definitely progressing. It's like the progress of NASA. It's kind of gone backwards with their technology there, right? But you love the ancient Egypt, Jimbo. This is one of your things. What do you think about it, man?
I think it's an interesting idea, and definitely totally plausible. I tell you though, recently I've become aware of this massive field of pyramids in China that I didn't know about.
Jimmy, does this include what they call the Great Pyramid that a pilot flew over back in I think it was 30s, 40s time?
I'm not sure about that part of it, but I was reading, I think it was last week, I was reading about this whole giant area where there's nothing but pyramids that the West doesn't even really know about in China. So I'll have to do some more looking into it so I can give you specifics so you could actually look at it and see. But it's just, the other thing is too, is there's a guy who did a piece on the Emerald tablets. It's a pretty long book, and he goes into describing how it's completely and totally fake.
What do you think? What do you think yourself, Jim? Because it's something you've talked about and you've looked into for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Well, the thing is what is real? You know what I mean? It's like, it has all the bells and whistles to make it plausible.
Yeah, and even if plausible, Jimmy, right? And I'm just throwing this out there, right? I mean, say somebody 2,000 years from now cracks open a Stephen King book. What if they've got no idea what fiction is? Like we could be reading some of these ancient tablets and things. Maybe some of them were entertainment. Maybe some of them were just like, I don't know, just we've misinterpreted them. It could be anything, like you said, it could be anything, man.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I mean. I'm sorry, Scott, I didn't mean to step on you there, but we've decided which books or which stories are real and which are fantasies, just like when we were growing up, fee, fi, fo, fum, I smell the blood of an Englishman, be he alive or be he dead, I'll grind his bones and make my bread. There was giants out there, man, right?
Tales of giants, maybe. Absolutely. We talk about giants, Scott, the little people, everything in between.
Yeah, and when it comes to the Emerald tablets, right?
The tablets of truth.
Yes. I mean, regardless of the interesting thing, I mean, there's interesting stuff in the tablets. Now, whether it was a hoax or some that it was faked or whatever, I mean, that's just up for speculation, I guess. I mean, and
till we get that time machine fired up, no real way of verifying it's. The
thing is, it provides a very interesting. It's just kind of one of those interesting rabbit holes that provide.
It gets the brain going, right? And it's a really good distraction from maybe other news going on today for an hour or two, Jimmy.
And I listened to it every night for a year going to sleep. So I'd listen to the audiobook every night until it ended for a year. I remember you used to
talk to me about it all the time, Jimmy. Remember when we first started talking, you'd love to get into that? Yep.
Yeah, because like I said, I listened to it every night for a year. And the thing is that because it says in there, you won't understand it until you go through the material so many times. You won't have the ability to comprehend it. So I did my best to try to comprehend it.
You want something that is quite uncomprehendable. You want a bit of a giggle before we head on over to the show, guys. I found this story. Try to find a good locate. That'll do the 2 years there. But this here. Talk about one born every minute, right? Now, let me bring this up on the screen. Talk about the ultimate grift. This is the ultimate grift. And I don't know whether I want to, congratulate the people that pulled it off or laugh at the person who fell for it. I'm torn. I'm torn whether he's a victim or whether he brought it on himself here. I'll let you decide, folks, okay? Now, we're going to the Metro, so we know it's going to be absolutely cracking Pulitzer Prize reporting here. But have you heard the one about the con artists that conjure up a fake genie to dupe a doctor into buying that there, a magic lamp? Oh, it gets better, boys. It gets better. It gets better. Yep, 2 men have been arrested after a doctor was conned out of 72 grand for Aladdin's lamp. And it wasn't like you just seen it on eBay or anything like that. No. It was alleged, right, get this, that they conjured up a fake genie to trick their victim, Laik Khan, into handing over the cash at Uttar Pradesh, India. Khan said one of the men pretended to be an occultist and made a jinn, a supernatural figure, appear from a lamp, local media report. Now, let's pause there. Let's have a think about this, guys. How the hell did they put this together? Eh? I mean, look at the size of the lamp. How do you, like, pretend somebody just manifests out of the lamp? Ooh!
Why does one pull off the old genie trick? That's
It's a strange one, right?
Well, it is 2020 now, so we
Look,
may be able to conjure a 3D image, out of the reflective nature of the tip of that genie lamp.
Maybe just because they thought of the grift, maybe it made it real. Maybe the universe thought, just for your audacity, we're gonna double bluff you and send a real genie. You know?
exactly. Maybe it was a real genie. Maybe this is the cover story, Kev, of nothing to see here. It was all just a big hoax when we actually have genies.
Is there like an Indian Mulder and Scully right now, absolutely livid in a basement somewhere, saying, "I want to believe they're not letting us tell the people," and then somebody called hashtag. I possibly can't give you the name of my secret deep source. I couldn't do that. So maybe there's more to this, but it says, but when Khan asked if he could touch the genie or take the lamp home, they refused, saying it might cause him harm. The complaint stated. Eventually, they sold the lamp to him, promising it would bring health, wealth, and good fortune. How did this cat ever make it to be a doctor? A doctor of what?
Hey.
Yes, I've got a PhD in gullibility. So
Well,
Khan...
Smart people are some of the easiest people to fool.
You know, we all laugh at the old Nigerian prince that got in contact with us a bajillion times back in the early days of the internet, but the only reason that ever existed was because of what Jimmy says. There's people out there that fall for these things, and that's why I'm torn. Is the guy a victim? Or, come on, should you see this coming? Come on, Matt. Is it too soon?
Come on, man.
Probably, but hey, come on, man.
Look, they say a sucker is born every minute, right? And
Damn,
look,
dude.
some of the most educated people are also some of the most gullible or lack common sense. Just because you're book smart doesn't mean you're street smart.
Very good point,
Right.
Scott. Very good point. My mother, very intelligent, no common sense. None. Niente.
Oh.
No.
Ouch.
Oh, she admits that. She admits it herself, dude. She's like the first to say it. She's like, she can't remember when she made the trade-off between brains and common sense, but it's there, you know. So, yeah, I just thought that was a bit weird, a bit funny. It says here, right, Khan stated that he later realised, so it took him some time to realise he was getting conned here. Hashtag follow the genie was actually just one of the men in disguise. Mr. Khan contacted the police when he realised that the lamp didn't have any magical powers. As described in the folktale Aladdin, and the wish-granting genie did not appear when he rubbed it. Senior police officer Amit Ray said the cheats had struck a deal for much more, but the doctor had paid about 7 million rupees. 93 large over in the dollars, boys. 93 big ones, man.
Wow.
That's a really expensive lesson, Jimmy, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, what if the guys that sold it to him, when the cops came and tried to arrest him, they just go, "Hey, man, he used up his 3 wishes." You know,
Jimmy,
we sold it to him.
Jimmy, I like this, man. If we're ever going to run a grift, we'll get you. You'll see the potential pitfalls and ways out. I like it, man.
This guy pretending to be the genie, did he just like paint himself blue? I mean,
I've got a
how
comical
convincing was
picture.
this disguise?
Oh no, dude, I've got a comical picture in my head of him just woo, you know? It's crazy, but it says he added the wife of one of these men was also involved in the fraud. She is on the run. Maybe she disappeared. Maybe she's part of this like intergalactic or interdimensional genie team. I don't know. The men have also cheated other families using the same modus operandi. The total money involved runs into several million rupees. And why do they do it? Why do they do it? Because there's obviously people out there, like the doctor,
Hey,
that'll
That's
go
what I'm
for
saying.
it.
I mean, obviously, the running a genie fraud sort of ring is quite lucrative in that part of the world.
The
I'm
genie
just
fraud
saying.
business, eh? But do you think you can trade on that on the stock market, Jimmy? Genie fraud shares.
Well, I mean, the gin is pretty. A lot of people say the gin is real, so the
Dude,
gin is
hey,
where the
listen, I
genie
think if
idea comes from.
surely if anyone believes in the idea of demons, you have to say you believe in the jinn, right?
I'd have to
Yeah.
say so.
Yeah.
I mean, the gin is what the genie idea comes from. No, is it
Yep.
gin, genie?
Yeah, look
rub-
at this. Jimmy Jeans, podcaster, internet celebrity, and etymologist. Dude.
Should we just start calling him Jimmy Genie?
Genie Jimmy?
Hey, just rub that lamp a little harder.
Well,
and
I
see
tell
if-
you what, I'll be
Right.
rubbing Jimmy's lamp in 9 minutes from now, folks. It's been
Look at
really
this.
quick.
Take a look at this here.
Oh, dude, look
See-
at that.
Here. But
Is-
that's not all. Listen to it.
Is that like that dude out of Star Wars? Is that Darth Maul dude?
I will you, Jedi.
See, told you it was a start, see? Yeah,
Sith
Hmm.
apprentice.
I like it. I like it. More from Jimmy's mask. You see, the #1 abnormal paranormal show on its 1400th episode can still offer you something new. So if you want to be a part of the craziness, and it's going to be wild, these guys are uncensored, unleashed from the get-go. We'll get into that story today. Then we'll have some fun. We'll go here, there, everywhere. It's the 1400th show. It's the birthday / anniversary / who knows what it is. Over on your #1 abnormal paranormal show on YouTube, on TFR, anywhere in this world and the next. Even genies listen to this show. Look, Jimmy Genie, he's on it later today. 8 minutes from now, we are out of here.
Keep your mind.
We'll be in
open.
Discord. Don't
Keep
forget.
looking for the woo, but not to the
TFRlive.com.
point where your brain turns to black goo.
30 seconds of music. That's all you're getting. We're pressed for time today. We're pressed for time. It's an emergency. You can handle the woo, but can you handle the real stuff? We have got a sticker coming in, Sidvich, #1 fan. You're a brother and the #1 fan. There you go. We're all #1. The emergency. Sidvich, there he is. We're out of here, folks. Join us 7 minutes from now. Discord